and relate. What's going on, guys? Good morning. Mm. Good morning. Good morning. What's up, everybody? What's up, Kenneth? Man, you are hands down a real one. You're always here, buddy. I appreciate you. You know, sometimes Trish, what? No way. I got Trish at 6:30 in the morning. I can't be so lucky. What's up, Ken? Hey, man. What's up, Slater? Slater's a real one too. Jody, this is the fam. You guys are the best. It's so funny. This statement, the smooth morning wake up voice. I've always felt it's the mic for sure because until I started doing this, it's always been like this raspy, like sort of deep. I don't know. I don't know. Just in general. Camille, good morning. Cleaning the crock pot. Chili night. I had chili over the weekend. Chili's so good. It's such an underrated like food or dinner. It should be something that everyone has. Like, it shouldn't be just a fall, winter thing. What do you guys think? I think chili should be like an all the time thing. Uh, yeah, it's the only soup I accept. The only other soup that I'll eat is like a really good chicken noodle. My father-in-law makes a really good chicken noodle soup. Other than that, I agree. Chili's it for sure. I don't know. Do I need any other type of soup? I mean, I live in the South, so um, what is it? Um, like a gumbo, but like gumbo is just like shrimp chili. You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing, right? So I'll eat a gumbo for sure. Um, it's like Bubba and shrimp. Exactly. Yep. Yep. I agree. I agree. So how was everyone's weekend? Was it good? Anything new? So what did I miss means I don't know. What did I say when I put it what way? I'm sorry. Um, so what did I miss? So we haven't done this since Friday. I don't know, before last. So the 12th, the 11th, shrimp chili. But it is though, right? I mean, like you don't use like tomatoes or anything, but it's like basically the same thing, right? Gumbo. Theoretically, it's like very similar. It's just like rice, right? Rice and s- usually shrimp or crawfish. Um, what's happened in the CrossFit world since October 11th? Because I have no idea. I don't know anything that's gone on. Cajun chili. There we go. Filet. Cajun chili. I like that. It's definitely more applicable, more appropriate. Crash. Roman's getting a surgery. I saw that. I think he's getting a hip labral surgery. Let me see. Because that's like the worst. It's not a very successful surgery, unfortunately. Um, yeah, he's got a labral tear, which is such a stupid fucking thing to get a surgery for. And I'll tell you why in a minute. Whoops. He's going to be out for a long time, dude. Labral repairs take forever. They're also not anything that needs to actually be addressed. So, Let me pull this over here. So, that's not right. This one? There we go. Got to make sure my QR code is scannable. All right. Roman suffered an injury. Didn't think much of it. Get a second opinion. This time was diagnosed. So an anterior antero-superior acetabular labrum tear, right, along with cam morphology of the left femur. We do have a labrum in our hip and shoulder. Um, and so it's like how ball and socket joints um, maintain like a connection. So it's like the labrum. So the problem with hip labral tears. Let me see if I can find some data. Let's see. I think this is the article that I found. Mhm. So, um, share this tab instead. So basically, although previously thought to be relatively uncommon, hip labral tears are being diagnosed with increased frequency because of MRIs and arthroscopic technique. And so what that means is is our only they've always been common, right? But the only reason that we've been able to diagnose them faster or easier is because we can now have effective MRIs, okay? And so what that means is that means that they're solely being diagnosed on MRIs, not because they're actually happening more, but because we can diagnose them easier. And what that means is that they're still not that big of a deal. But because we're able to diagnose them easier, we address them more prevalently and more frequently when we address them with surgery, right? Most people have hip labral tears if you are a barbell athlete. Like it is super, super, super common. Okay. Right. And so the problem with being able to diagnose anything easily is that it becomes this big red herring and this big target. It's like, oh, you have hip pain. Oh, let's get an MRI. Oh, you have a hip labral tear. We have to fix that so your hip pain will go away, which is just like this huge fallacy. And it's the biggest problem in or orthopedics, like, unbelievable, the worst way to approach any of that, okay, right? I've worked with people with, like, acetabular degeneration, like, avascular necrosis, like, and you can get through hip pain without surgery, right? But his recovery now of a labral tear is gonna be so long, right? And labral repairs are very, very, very poor in, like, long-term outcomes relative, to non-surgical intervention. They just are. They're not that great. And so, you'll read this article of like, oh, if you don't fix it, then it becomes more degenerative, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it leads to all of these things, right? And it's just not ideal. And it's less than it it can be it's very treatable non-surgically, right? And passive intervention. Anyways. Mm, I'm annoyed. People are no, necrosis sucks, but it doesn't it's getting a labral repair doesn't prevent those things either, right? Like if you're going to get something like that, it's just going to happen. But this isn't labral tears are super common. Like they're just like rotator cuff tearing, right? Everyone here in the CrossFit world has some form of rotator cuff fraying or marginal tearing or even big tearing. It doesn't mean that we can't get um, out of pain easily, right, with passive intervention and avoid surgery. I don't think he'll be back in the race for February, to be honest. So they're pretty. Um, it's a pretty lengthy recovery, but who knows? What do I know? I'm just a PT that doesn't do PT. Um, let's see. Crash. I did watch Crash. I was probably the only bit I kept up on. We had a show last week with John and them, and we didn't talk about Crash at all, which I planned on talking about Crash most of the show. Um, but it was super fun to watch. Uh, I think it was interesting to have that kind of broadcast. Um, I think the guys, obviously, I think they did a great job. Um, but I did like a broadcast leaning into, like not just a very PC approach, right? I think that was really fun. It made for a lot of good stories, a lot of general content. I definitely wish I would have seen maybe more people watching. I think 10,000 views is good, um, but we want to see for sure a bigger, um, like a bigger platform. I don't know how somehow we get that kind of broadcast crew, and then we get it onto like the CrossFit page or something like that. Um, and so here we'll double back. I'll finish talking about Crash. Um, Colton was super impressive. Um, Colton was really, really impressive. Besides the last event, right? He didn't finish lower than fourth, I think is what it was. Brittany Weiss is really coming into her individual career very much so. I think she won Dubai. She won the qualifier to get in, and she won Crash. I mean, she looks really, really fit. So kudos to her and Yami. Um, and so I think I think she has a good career. Obviously, she's very thin. Um, she can gain some weight and get some strength, but she seemed to manage the load well. But I think she did say that overhead squats and deadlifts, if they're going to be heavy, like those are the things that are going to benefit her the most. But it was good to see her. She crushed it. I think Olivia still has a lot of holes. Um, let's see, Crash, Crucible, leaderboard. There we go. That's 23, 2024. There we go. Share this tab. Um, let's go to female. Um, Fee was really impressive. I mean, she was down a lot and then she came back really strong, which was really cool to see. Um, Lydia's very impressive. Um, Kyra is 22, really like center packing, but she made her way back. It was fun to watch. And Olivia she's just got a lot of holes, man. I think she just needs to, um, you know, I think she has very much the ability. She's so young, and she can grind and she can hurt, but she just really needs to work on, like the longer aerobic stuff, burpee, volume, um, running, obviously, etc. Um, I don't remember what this one was. Oh, purgatory, and obviously high volume pulling gymnastics, right? So back to the males. I'm pretty sure everyone said Nick Matthew was upset. Seemed like he was hurt. Like if you just watch him snatch this, I just watched the first workout. Like when he snatched that dumbbell with the left arm, like he just looked really, really, really uncomfortable. But I don't know. Who knows? Um, Matthias Porter was cool watching him coming from Kill Taylor, etc. And then obviously this was just like such an amazing and fun race to see. I think they went like back and forth, right? Taylor, Chris, Taylor, Taylor, Chris. So that makes it three, right? And they were 3-3, and then Taylor won by 15 seconds. So talk about a fun race. Even the P scoring pulled it apart a pretty decent bit. Um, I think it was good. So am I a fan of P scoring? Of P score? You know, um, Yeah, I think it's gonna reward home run athletes, but that's not, like, very CrossFit-y, right, in nature, um, but I think I think it's fun. I think it's a good way to spice things up. I don't know if it's CrossFit Games appropriate, um, I don't know why I think that either. I just think it's kind of like an up in the air sort of thing. I'd like to see it on maybe some bigger stages, as well. Um, so so let's see. So Camille, so to put it in a pretty simple, um, a simple explanation, you still get ranked one through whatever, however many people there are, 27. Okay. Right? And you get a placing for each one of those ranks. But as you can see, right, first will always get 100. Okay. And then there's a median score, and that median score will get a 50. Right. And so we see that right here. Okay. And so basically it's on a curve. So instead of just one gets 100, two gets 96, based on your time, there'll be a score that'll get put out. Okay, so it's like it's sort of like an every second counts sort of thing. So they create an average based on all the times, and then each point is worth like or each your time is worth a certain amount of points based on the average and based on the fastest time. And so then each point gets spit out that way, right? So if we look at here, so Colton and Purgatory, right? So we got 845, and then second place got 1017. So it's a huge difference, right? So we can see first got 100 here on dumb standard, and then two got um they were only 4 seconds apart, and you can see they were only 1.5 points apart. Okay, but here on Purgatory, Colton got 845, but second with Chris got 1017. And so you can see he got 18 points different. He only got 82 points. So it's scored based on time, not finish. Thanks, Ken. See, my chat is just so much smarter than me. Um, Anyways, so that was cool to watch. Um, and Brittany was super impressive. Um, Again, like I said, Fee come back. I was pretty concerned at this point, right? I was like, oh man, Fee's looking, you know, really rough. I don't know if she kind of like has it anymore, like in general, but it was because she didn't make some, she didn't make the games, etc. But it was good to see her make a good comeback and finish really well on a pretty stacked field. Um, I always love seeing Carolyn Prevost. I mean, she's literally twice the age of some of the other girls, which is fucking sick. Um, okay. And then I don't know. I didn't watch any of the Masters. Well, I don't think there was anything to watch, right? Um, so to go back to Trish, so we'll come back to this. Let's see if we can find reverse passive care. All right, so my computer's going slow. Let me know if I'm kind of glitchy or anything, guys. Like I can't get anything to pull up on my computer. Um, hmm. Oops, there we go. Okay. Um, that didn't help. This is an interesting statement. We'll come back to it. All right. So we'll talk about the hip and then we'll sling on back to um this didn't help at all. Anyways, stop sharing for a second. Okay. Interested to hear more about healing a labral tear. So the concept of healing, right, is a misunderstood term. Okay. So we believe healing, the only way that that can occur is by tissue to regenerate, right, or to get better, right? And that if it doesn't do that, then our our ability to operate normally is limited. And so the labrum will never heal. Even if you surgically repair it, it's not healed, right? So think of the labrum as this suction cup. Okay, sorry. So it's a suction cup. Okay, so once it's torn, that suction can never be regained. All right. All right. So no matter what, even if we stitch it, the labrum itself doesn't heal, right? The stitch is what's holding that labrum together. Okay. That's the same with the shoulder, too. That's why labral surgeries aren't super, super effective, even for high level athletes, right? And so that the outcomes will show that they work, right? In general. Um, uh, um, but for the most part, mm, sorry, I was reading. So for the most part, we can't regain what we had once it's torn, right? So the surgery doesn't like regain that suction or anything in that matter. But what we've also assumed is that if our tissue is torn in some capacity, right, tendons, ligaments, labrals, like a meniscus and a labrum are sort of similar tissue structures, muscle belly, etc., that if it's torn, then it's not going to operate properly. And in an acute setting or an acute response, that's true, right? So as soon as you tear it, it's going to operate different. But as it heals, it is going to heal much different, right? So um, ligaments also don't heal. Even if you get them repaired, they're not healed, right? So like the stitch is generally what holds it together. They don't start to reattach. Okay. Same thing with the labrum. The labrum doesn't just start to regenerate like a muscle belly. A muscle belly will start to regenerate and then it'll start to make a new muscle belly or like a sort of like a spider webby bit of a muscle belly. Same with a tendon. Okay. Um, uh, so so what we do is basically we rehab and we create adaptations of either scar tissue laying down or tolerance to what is now quote unquote the new normal, which is my fucking most hated term ever. Okay. And so the thought that we have to have a perfectly operating labrum, right, to be 100% is false. It's just not the case, right? Most of us have tears. If you've ever had a hip impingement, and a lot of hip pain, you probably have a very low grade or had a low grade, what we call FAI, right? So femoral acetabular impingement, right? Um, uh, or some form of like just a labral tear. That's just how it works, right? In general. Um, but again, the surgery on it is it's gotten better, but it just the outcomes aren't any better than passive response. At least that I found in my, that's very anecdotal to my practice. Okay. And so, let me see. I just found this comparison. Find a, I'm reading. So, because of our ability to diagnose, i.e., MRIs, arthroscopic, our need or the increase of FAI surgeries has been drastic by like thousands of percents since the early 2000s because we MRI it more effectively, we can diagnose it easier, and then it's treated with surgery faster, right? We're not actually getting more tears, right? It's the same prevalence. The same amount of people are getting tears. That doesn't change. Okay. Um, and so uh, but because we can MRI it, we have this big like target. It's like, oh, if we fix this, then everything's going to get better. But passive care will always, not always, passive care will most of the time manage it just the same. Okay. But because the MRI shows this big red blinking dot, it's like, oh, if we fix this, then it's all going to be better. And it just doesn't work like that. Right. We don't always have to have surgery on things that are torn. Jody asked a great question. So does this apply to a meniscus tear? Just rehab it or get surgery? So so very, very, very similar situation, right? Meniscal repairs, right? So where you actually take the torn meniscus and you stitch it back together aren't even suggested anymore. What they suggest for the torn meniscus is you just a meniscectomy, you take off the torn part and you just work with what you have left. That's the predominantly um, suggested care. So all they're doing is removing it and you're working with what you have left. So if you had 100%, now you're working with 80% or 50%, et cetera, right? They don't even suggest it because the meniscus will not heal back together, right? Like as far as the tissue, right? So it's just will sit there and the likelihood of a re-tear is really, really high. And also the rehab of a meniscal repair is very long, like 3 to 6 months, but a meniscectomy is like days, right? In the sense of like when you're on crutches or limited, you just go based on feel. But yes, torn meniscus rehab is 100% promoted over surgery every time. Um, so um, and then also avoiding surgery if at all costs is always a better play because surgery is trauma. And I don't think people understand that. When you cut open the body and you start digging around in there, every time that little piece of metal is just it's creating scar tissue, it's creating a massive inflammatory response, and it is not the most ideal. So, anyways, hip labral surgeries, in my opinion, are less than ideal. So, um, but yes, but you can rehab a meniscus easily. Just take some time. Outcome measures are really, really high, and success is really, really high. Um, so, but it's fine. A lot of people have meniscus tears. Knee hurts for a little bit in deep squatting. You modify the squatting for a little bit, and then it gets better. Um, okay, Trish, I hope that answered your question. If you're still around, um, P score, we talked about it. I feel like there was something else. Oh yeah, Greg Metfix. So I'm having um, um, Emily on in a couple of weeks. I actually just got to get it scheduled. Emily on and talk about Metfix. Um, so that'll be cool. Um, mm, dude, you look young as fuck. You had a full knee replacement. Holy shit. You're young to have a full knee replacement, buddy. How old are you, Brandon? Um, yeah, yeah. So this is also the other thing, right? So that's a great point. Trish, you're funny. Um, uh, is is you have to just make your ego has to get thrown out the door, right? It's not hard to work through FAI, right? So femoral acetabular impingement, but you have to avoid squatting, um, right? You have to limit hip flexion stuff depending on what your symptoms are. And maybe he needed it, right? Maybe it was like that bad, like an acute tear, right? So acute trauma is different than insidious onset, right? So um, maybe something at the games, like like a heavy squat clean and like an it tore, really aggressive. Um, uh, were you airborne? Is this from like from jumping out of planes? Um, um, and so acute trauma, right, is one thing, right? Maybe Roman was kind of struggling with something from that, or maybe it just sort of popped up. But either way, I don't think FAI is a great um, reason for surgery. Let's leave it at that. I think it's not as successful as um, non-surgical. I hope he makes a comeback. I mean, he will make a comeback. It'll be fine. Um, yeah. Okay, so did you have like this? You have the I love your profile picture. I need to put like a green screen on the back of mine. Full knee replacement, May 22nd. Use BPC 157, TB 500. The first 6 weeks. Is there any benefits using them again? Yeah, definitely. Um, I don't think there's certainly nothing wrong with using them again, by any means. Are you still dealing with pain? Like, what's your function level? I guess would be a good question. But dude, fucking sub 40 is a wild time to to have a fucking knee replacement. Um, yeah, that's wicked. Um, hey, if Brandon, if you want to call in, I'd love to chat with you. 25 now. I don't know what that means. What do you mean? If you want to call in, I'd love to chat with you about it for like 5 minutes or so. I think that'd be a cool chat. I don't know what this means. 25. Do you mean maybe 25 weeks? No, that's not right. June, July, August, September, October. No, maybe. Perfect. Let's see if I can get you. Call you back. Oh, functionality. Yo.
Yeah, hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Chat, can you hear him?
Nice.
Let's see if the chat can hear. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. Just doing some stretching to try to get in the cold plunge in the morning, trying to get body moving.
How does that cold plunge make your knee more stiff or less stiff?
It doesn't change anything to the knee. A lot of the inflammation and stuff like that in the area, but yeah.
So so talk to me about why you got surgery at 39. That's wicked, by the way. The only thing I've seen more is like one of my first patients when I was a PT student had a bilateral hip replacement at like 33. That was crazy.
Oh gosh,
Yeah,
that sounds terrible.
that was wild. Other than that, I don't think I've worked with anyone under 40 with a knee replacement.
Yeah, so I've been in the military 21, and then I straight into the 75th Ranger Regiment, just special operations. Operation tempo is super high. I'm jumping out of airplanes, going to different schools and things like that. I tore it like within the first months, my ACL, all that. And they just were like, hey, some 800 milligrams,
Oh yeah,
drink
man.
some water, you'll be fine. And back then it wasn't really, this was like 07, 08 time. It wasn't really back then, but just the mindset on treating injuries and stuff like that. So years moved forward, it just got worse and my meniscus was non-existent. It got to the point where I'm like walking sideways, get downstairs, go out with the family on like a walk, like a mile walk or anything like that. So I just got to the point where I wasn't living a very life where I'm around. I'm very active, so I was like, I think it's time to do it. So they said I could do it like 5 years ago, but I was like, ooh, that's I'm gonna need it way too soon.
Sure.
So
So you got it for function, right? Was your pain bad or was your knee just like regressing in total function?
it was mostly pain.
Okay.
Because I could still do like doing CrossFit or squats below parallel, like super easy. I could do a lot of that stuff easy, but it was painful. I'd compensate, and it was starting to mess up the rest of my body. So hip, back, neck, shoulder, like just going throughout the rest of the body. I wasn't able to be very happy with what I was doing.
So, okay, so you got surgery May 22nd. How did you feel afterwards?
Um, there's a lot of mixed emotions there. I think fact that you had acute trauma of the surgery
Mm-hmm.
was a little different because I thought I was going to come like, okay, I don't feel pain in my knee or where I had it, but I have other pain.
Okay.
So that was the challenge for me over like the first, I'd say 2-3 months, is just getting to where I have pain from the surgery itself.
Got it.
But yeah, other than that, I don't have any pain where the knee is.
That's good.
Because it's pretty wild.
How's your function? I know you said 25. Can you squat below parallel?
Barely. It's like I'm forcing it. I'm getting
Mm-hmm.
there. I can get there, but it's rough. So I'm still
terminal
working on it.
extension? How's your extension?
Tension's fine.
Okay.
It goes. Yeah, that's they were like, this is the most important part.
Yeah.
So if you're that, then the rest will eventually
Yeah, it'll
come.
come.
And if
It'll come.
not, then you know try
Um,
to
so
work it.
why'd you stop taking BPC one? Why'd you stop taking the combo?
See, I don't know why I'm taking it. I was, and that's why I asked that question. I was like, wait, it's too late for me to start taking it
No, it's
again because
definitely
still having
yeah.
pain.
So this is like
Yeah.
not medical advice, right? So like should be super clear.
Sure.
But
Yeah. Absolutely.
um
100%.
but I mean based on the what I know of it, right, is that it's totally safe for continued use. Um
Right.
and so I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't. I don't know much about TB 500. I know people take it as like a combo because they do very similar things. I know a little bit more about BPC 157, but I know people that take it like as like a steady use for like stomach problems, right? Or like almost as like a like a steady regimen instead of like a
So it's like a supplement, like vitamins as
yeah
well. Like
and
you just get, yeah.
yeah. And so so I mean I don't see why you wouldn't. Did you feel a difference? I mean, the first 6 weeks is hard to assess anything, right? Because everything is so new. But did you feel a difference once you came off? Like, have you had any regression?
No, I don't think I've had any regret per se, but I knew like the first weeks I was healing really fast,
Hmm.
but my range of motion wasn't getting there.
Yeah.
So it was helping. I think it was helping because obviously like you said, in the first 6 weeks there's so much going on. There's
Hmm.
a lot of pain, mental, physical, a lot of that stuff starts to add up. So
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to, but why you wouldn't keep taking it? At
yeah,
least at least till you get into like that full squat range of motion stuff. Um,
right.
but
Okay.
uh,
Yeah,
but hey, man. Well, thanks for giving a call. Just to
yeah,
plug
absolutely.
plug our stuff. So we are PTs and we do one-on-one coaching. Just to let you know if you're looking for maybe some more guided approach to getting back to full training without limitation. So
Absolutely. I'll definitely take a look. Appreciate it.
yeah, man. All right, have a good one.
All right. You as well, man.
See
Have a good day.
you. I'm not a medical doctor, but I play one on the internet. Exactly. What is it? What was that commercial? I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night. I mean, that's crazy. So airborne ranger jumps out of planes. Pretty um, common situation of a lot of knee struggles. But yeah, um, yeah, no more jumping out of planes, Brandon. Yeah, I'm definitely assuming he's on probably full disability. So, would be my guess. Yeah. Well, hey, thanks for listening. That was cool. I love call-ins. I'm all about some call-ins now. I gotta figure out how to keep them short. I gotta turn my phone to like receive calls. It literally just doesn't receive any calls ever. Um, I send everyone straight to voicemail. So I gotta turn that off if I want people to call in. Um, cool. Well, that was fun. See, it was so worth it. My fucking $400 Roadcaster that I don't need at all. Now I've had two call-ins. Slater called right when I got it, and now Brandon called. It was totally worth it. 100%. Um, Yeah, it's surgery is such an interesting thing, right? Like Brandon said, like the knee feels better, but there's a lot of surgical pain now, right? Like just always remember that, guys, that like surgery is trauma. And so just because it just because it fixes, one thing doesn't mean that it's not going to create some challenges in a different direction. So super, super important to understand and remember. Um, and yeah, cool. Good show so far. Oh. He's got an air squat. Are you below depth? Are you Brandon, are you reaching standard? Are you gonna be Hillard if you post the video? Mm. Alright, what else is new? What else did I miss? So we said Metfix, we talked about that. I'm gonna have Emily on at some points. Um, I need to work on that this week. It's been a super busy couple of weeks for WODprep and me and some family stuff. And so, um, but what else is going on? Um, do we think the Taylor Chris drama is going to continue? Right? Oh, dude, we talked about this on the show. Um, we'll pull that up in a second. Um, I'm all for it. I think it'll be good. I'd love to see some more, I don't know, rivalry, enemy type stuff. Um, um, but yeah, this is, guys, just to be concept two, I think is I hope they don't. Um, yeah, this is just, I mean, it's not a CrossFit machine, right? So I think they are assuming that this is moving their way away from the CrossFit space, this machine specifically, right? Ski erg, row, bike, all CrossFit for sure. Bicycles, not the rower. The rower was pre-CrossFit, but the bike and the ski made almost solely for the design of like the gym space. This is the design for the home athlete, right? Like the person training at their house. My only problem with this is that there isn't a notice how you only see them with the concentric pattern in this, right? Like as this is going, you're only seeing them like contract the muscle and not seeing it come back, right? Because there is no eccentric loading in the movement, right? It's only a concentric pattern, which is very strange. I just think it's a different um it's going to be a different machine. It's not anyone in our world. It's definitely this is a great Trish is um a very good assessment. Very, very effective in a rehab clinic. Terrible bench technique. That's funny. So when we go through the rehab process, right, we go through like muscle setting, which is like isometrics, okay, or we passive range of motion, then active range of motion, then like muscle setting, isometric holds, right, bracing, and then we go through small range of motion, concentric only, right, because eccentric loading on a muscle belly or tendon or ligament, etc., um, uh, is just more strenuous on a muscle, right? So like if you have a hamstring tear, right? You don't do a lot of like overstretching or like eccentric loading. You just want to do like concentric stuff, right? So shortening of the muscle. It's just easier on the stress of the muscle. Can we stop pause this? Okay. Um, and so this will have be very effective um in a clinic, But I'm interested to see. I'd love to get on one and see like what it actually feels like. Um, uh, yeah, this is so no one actually knows the drama, right? I don't think. I don't think anyone actually knows the drama that's happening, right? So I won't speculate on any of this. Mm, um, but it is going to be interesting. I mean, Gabby looked really fit. She smoked Taylor on a same number of rope climbs workout and toes to bar. Taylor's probably some of the best in the world at it too. So that was impressive to watch. Um, so yeah, my toes are numb. It's cold in my house. Oh, thank God. We're getting worried. We had 45 minutes of no Gus. And I didn't know if we were going to be able to continue the show. Um, but yeah, think this is going to be a flop for sure in the CrossFit world. Maybe not in the other world, right? If they can market it well enough to even kind of like high end gyms, right? I can see people um, doing this here, like trying to make it like a not a commodity, but um, like a unique product in and of itself, and find the right type of buyers. Um, I think they can do well with it, but it's definitely isn't into our space. So they have to know that. I assume so. Um, Trish, I heard you arguing with Taylor. I just remembered this. I saw you arguing with Taylor in the comments during Crash. Um, and right when it gets colder, the tips of my toes go numb and turn white, little Raynaud's. Well, yeah, Gus ran a half marathon yesterday. Congrats, buddy. Good time. Um, whoops. There we go. Um, let's see what else we got. What else? Mhm. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He knows. I think this is a really good idea. I actually don't know what that surgery would look like. Maybe like venous, like a like a I don't know, like a vein clearing thing, blood flow. Anyways, Miami just giving up 1,000 points to everybody. Trish calling for advice. Trish can't call in for advice because then we know if she was a girl or a guy. I dropped 155 this week. Oh yeah, for fantasy. No, I got my ass whooped. I think I'm at like 20 points. Only started after the vax. Um, Football was good. I did watch some football this weekend. Miami gives me a heart attack every week, but they keep winning. So I'm happy with it. I can't complain. 55. I don't know. I don't know how he keeps doing it, but he keeps winning. Um, oh man. But it's good to see Miami on the up here, but I don't know. They make me nervous. Aaron. Is it time for Aaron to step aside? Who is it? I don't know what this means. That's right. Listen to Brandon. Smash that like button. We'd love for you to subscribe. Right. WODprep is the premier place for all things skill development in the CrossFit space. If you are a skilled athlete or an athlete that just wants to RX a little bit better, we are your place. You can't get better at CrossFit by slamming your head into a wall, right? Follow WODprep to get better at the skills that you currently suck at. All right. Oh, this is a great question. After last night, I don't know. Um, After last night, he, yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, he's got, I mean, probably the best three-headed monster in football. But I mean, it was week one. I think we got to give him at least a couple more weeks to see if he can figure it out with Devontae, um, and Wilson. But if he can't, then it is time, right? I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it might be cooked for sure. That was, I mean, but him and Devontae got to get on the same page. He's a little slower. Devontae probably isn't that much slower. So, so I think, oh, it's loud. So I definitely think, no, he has been shitting the bed. I'm saying with Devontae, this is his first week with Devontae Adams. So that's what I'm kind of getting at. I got to give him a little bit with Devontae. He only had Garrett Wilson, for a while. Had some good weeks, had some bad weeks. Um, he is throwing a lot of interceptions. He's definitely a little bit slower, but I mean the guy's fucking old. So, um, I mean, if you can get the timing down, then I think it's going to be fine. But he just always seems a step behind. Um, um, yeah, he threw. What didn't he throw for like? Um, he played well last night. I mean, they scored 47 on the Jets defense, which is, you know, still pretty solid. Um, see if we can get the player stats. What did he throw for last night? I mean, he threw for 262, 16 for 29, two touchdowns. So I mean, he played super well. He did make George Pickens look good. He threw damn near every pass to George Pickens. What do you have? I guess it was only 5 receptions. He just had a lot of yards. A lot of big chunk plays is what it looked like. So yeah, it's really good. I mean, he looked great. I've always been a Russ fan. I think Russ is great. I think he's a great player to the game, like a good ambassador. He's a good dude. He looked really shitty in Denver, obviously, but I mean, he's had a great career so far, and I hope he continues to do well in uh, in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh will always be a great place for quarterbacks to go because they're always going to like lean in hard to it. I think he's going to get a couple years. It is strange that Justin is there because like maybe if Justin was like a rookie, it would make more sense. Um, but for them to bring in Justin, I don't know if it was um, just a like a motivator for Russ to do well, but uh, it seems. I mean, obviously Fields did great, um, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Um, all right. What's everyone's week look like? What are we doing this week? What do I got this week? I think I have a few. We're in a like I'm going through trying to educate myself, so I'm going back through this book. Have you guys ever read this one? $100 million offers. Alex Hermosi. Um, yeah. So this is Justin. He's the QB of the future, right? Give him some time to sit, but like it's his third year, right? And then, I mean, Russ isn't that old. So how long is he going to sit behind Russ before he takes like he takes the reins, right? Like, is this a 2-year plan, right? Or because I mean, I could see Russ going 3 or 4 more years. Is Justin going to be a backup for his first 6 years of his career after being the number one overall pick? It's just kind of like a weird thing. Very old school vibes with it, but 5 or 6 years is a long time. Like if it's just this year, next year, then it makes sense, right? Um, but like anything longer than that, I feel like he's going to start getting restless and like I don't know. I don't see that um relationship going super well. Are you sure? He was the 11th pick. Oh, yeah, that's right. It was the same year as Trevor Lawrence. He was the 2nd quarterback, right? Yeah. Oh, no, just kidding. Oh, Trey Lance, Zach, well, they all fucking suck. He's better than all of them. Um, that's right. Zach Wilson and Trey Lance are absolute flops. Yeah, he was the 4th. You're right. Hotel gym workouts this week. Ron and I are headed to a bait fish farmer expo to see if we want to get in the world of raising minnows. Trish, Trish, you're like the little girl who called wolf too many times because I never know if anything that you say or type is true. Like anything. I'm just going to assume that it's not. I just can't even imagine anything that you say has validity or truth behind it. Um, I don't know, maybe that's a fault on me. But oh, but I hope it goes well with your bait fish farmer expo. Um, whoa, what happened over here? Jody, you should head over to WODprep.com. We have all the programs. Daughter just got HFM. I don't know what that means. Home for a month? I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Oh, hand, foot, mouth. Oh, no. Ugh. That's the worst. Oh, man. Ugh. I'm sorry to hear that. That's the worst. The worst. I hope she gets through it well and nothing further besides just a rash pops up. Um, yikes. That's never fun. I don't even know what to say to this. Jody probably remembers that Ron and I ran a successful shrimp trawling operation. The sea is no longer for us. You know, I want to think that because like the depth of your stories is so consistent, right? That you have to be telling the truth, but I still can't believe it. I still just can't digest anything is true. I just can't. I haven't worked out in a CrossFit gym in mm, I think Thursday, like October 10th. That's what life is right now. This is crazy. So busy. I'm gonna try and get to a gym tomorrow. I can't get Mondays or never. I have meetings all day. I do this until I take Bennett to school, and then, um, I have meetings till like 1:30, um, and then Perrin and Bennett get home. We had 2-year-old pictures. You guys want to see? one of our 2-year-old pictures. Bennett's 2-year-old pictures, obviously, not my 2-year-old pictures. That'd be a long time ago. I don't even know what to say to either one of you. I can't believe either one of you. All right, let's see if we got a good one. This is my beautiful family. I am all good question. I'll show my fam here for a second. That's my little nugget. Man, I love that kid. God, I love him. Guys, being a parent is hands down the coolest fucking thing. So he just turned 2 and he is an absolute spitfire. Wakes up at 8 o'clock, 8:30 every day, and he is wide ass open until nap time. Oh yeah, until nap time, and then naps hard, 2 hours, gets up, and then we do it all again, all the way till 7. We do it every single day. Had some bubbles. This is the only way we could get him to go to do pictures was with his cars. He loves cars. Loves cars. Thank you, Trish. Dude, yeah. Mhm. Got some bubble action. This is my favorite. My favorite picture is oh, he's crying. Where is it? This one. I love this picture. Man, my wife is extremely gorgeous. I leveled up so much. Yeah, it's my family. Yeah, they're the best. I'm a very lucky guy for sure. Um, yeah, it's man, it's such an interesting time in life, right? Where my work is extremely demanding and challenging. Um, but at the same time, it is like I can't miss too much or I miss it all, right? Um, anyways, uh yeah, so that was our 2-year-old pictures. They were fun. My buddy Carlos does them. He's amazing. Make sure to give him a follow. Bound BOWN Media. Am I wearing a shirt? No, different shirt. Any tips to prepare for Chad? You know, the only tip that you really need, um, the only tip that you really need, right, is to make sure that um, you can tolerate it in like the Achilles, right? Like you don't have to go fast. Um, you don't have to do, like set appropriate expectations for your ability, um, and and just kind of work your way through it, right? If you have a certain goal, right? Like if you're really trying to do it in like sub 50 minutes or something like that, I think that's totally different. But if you're just trying to complete it, right? It's okay to make sure to have water. Okay. Make sure to do it with someone. It's fun to do it with people. We always do it like in a circle in our gym. Um, uh, and yeah, I mean, I don't know when is like, is there like a Chad day? Yeah, and then this was my next thing, like doing a rubber mat, or even like if you put the box on like a gymnastics mat, it feels better. Like the only thing I've ever struggled with, or I've seen people struggle with, is like Achilles fatigue, right? Of like coming down um every time. So I tried to do it with a 60-pound ruck once on a um on like a 20, I think on a 20, no, I think it was still a 20-inch box. Um And no, that's not true. What did I try and do? Was it a 90-pound ruck? No. Yeah, it was a 60. I only made it like 500 steps because my Achilles started really lighting up, bad, like really, really bad. And so it was definitely gonna get to like a not okay point. But I've done it a ton of times. You just grind it out. Um, Make sure to have a good, like make sure that you wear your ruck bag prior to doing it, right? I wouldn't put your ruck on for the first time because make sure it's adjusted well, and it's not rubbing your low back or anything like that. So other than that, it's simple. Don't overthink it. Don't try and go too fast. Okay. Yeah. Surprised you make time to do this. Yeah, I really enjoy this. Uh, I kind of enjoy this more than the time with the guys. Um, um, I do like getting on with John and Travis. Obviously, it's fun to go back and forth, but I like hanging with the chat. Um, so it's fun. And I enjoyed it. Kind of just lets me, you know. So it's not so much of calf raises, right? It would be um, like lowering yourself from the box back to the ground. It's the eccentric loading of the calf, right? So I would do uh, box step ups, right? Like I would work 24-inch unweighted box step ups, or like Jody just said, like maybe do like 50 to 100 ruck step ups a day, right? To just kind of get the feel for it. That's probably your best bet. Calf raises won't help because it's not so much of the east, like the concentric, like raising yourself up, which is what the calf raise is. Um, but it's coming down off the box. So Jody's Jody's way, as like a joke, is probably a great way to prepare for it, right? So we're 20 days away. Um, if you just kind of put the ruck on for 50 to 100 steps every day, um, it would be beneficial, for you. So that would be better than the calf raises, definitely. Um, Excuse me. Oh man. What's everyone drinking this morning? Tell me your morning coffee or beverage. So me and my wife go to a place called Miss Jones here in town in Pensacola. Um, and they started as like a farmer's marketplace. Um, and they they don't sell Folgers decaf. That's fucking gross. Um, and they're like a it's like a bookstore. We'll share this tab instead. Anyways, they started a farmer's market. We've been getting their coffee for a long time. They do like a concentrate cold brew. And so that's the owner, Stephanie. And so we've stayed good friends. And so I reached out the other day and whoops, there we go. Sorry. Um, and so I reached out the other day. I wanted to see if she sold beans and they didn't, but I was like, let me buy some anyways. So she gave me some and it's really good. So I convinced her to give me some beans, but they do like a concentrate cold brew. Um, yeah, it's only local though, unfortunately. I don't want to see this. Go away. Yeah. And they do like a bunch of like flavored stuff, but it's not sugar, right? It's like all natural flavors. Anyways, I was really excited about it. It was really yummy. Um, Trader Joe's, cardamom. Oh no, we don't have Trader Joe's here. It makes me sad. It does sound good. Vanilla cardamom, cold brew, Houston, Resolute Coffee. I help run a hybrid competition. He's a sponsor and has a great product. What's a hybrid competition? Is that like a hybrid athlete thing? You just do like a long run and then lift weights? Um, nice. That's very Colorado of you. You probably some super fucking hipster sold you these beans. Very Colorado of you. Um, you're just like an angry elf. Um, you know, for someone, it's okay. It's okay to not like the states, but you know, it's different, right? I think we, I think we just value different things, right? In general. Um, so these are, that's not like a coffee, the thing that you saw. Um, but I don't know. You're Italian, so you make it at home. That's good. I mean, you probably spend pretty similar amount um on coffee. I probably spend well, I spend way too much. I get coffee out. But those beans, the beans that I just showed, right? It was 25 bucks for 2 pounds, which is a really, really cheap deal. Um, what you saw there on there, that's like a concentrate. That's how they make their like, and so you that like makes like 8 to 10 servings, which is still kind of expensive. But 25 bucks for 2 pounds of beans is a really good deal. And I really enjoy their coffee. So I was pumped to get those beans. Um, CrossFit test, an obstacle test, and a fitness race like High Rocks, and a pure endurance test. The High Rocks test and the pure endurance test are different. That's a huge difference. It can't be that much of a difference. It's a lot of fitness. So there's 4 workouts. One, two, three, four. What's it called? What's the hybrid event called? Um, what's it called? Um, this year we had 4 Warrior Wolf Challenge. It's a pretty intense name. Oh, it was this weekend. Is there like a website or like an Instagram? Facebook? God, I don't ever get on Facebook. Not very good marketing. It's an intense name. Um, Super Sigma Sheepdog Challenge. Trish, you're pretty old to reference a Gen Alpha term. Sigma? I don't even know what it means. Um, where can we find? Does it have it has an Instagram? It doesn't even pull up. Let's go to Instagram. Warrior Warrior Wolf Challenge. Warrior Wolf. This one. There we go. So what were the event? Do we know the events? Oh, here we go. Warrior Wolf. So here's the first one. CrossFit. Oh, is this supposed to be, I get it, like the wolf, right? Is this like gods or something? Like an Alaskan deity wolf? It's kind of light. 30-25 elite division with 35-pound dumbbells. Not quite that elite, but that's all right. And then 150-pound sandbag. I feel like there's a big discrepancy here. Um, elite. I wouldn't call this an aerobic event. This is hardly 10 minutes. Is this supposed to be the pure aerobic event? Maybe a speed event? It's like hardly 10 minutes, yeah. There's 3. Is there one more somewhere? Did I miss one? Oh, is this it? Oh, there's a OCR event. Got it. Mm. That's cool. I'm all for events. I just didn't, just like call it elite. Could be a little harder. A little grainy pictures. That's all right. I mean, I'm all for events. I think it's good. I'm not a mean guy. Cool. Oh, yeah, to shoot an arrow. I love it. I think it was a $300 payout. I can't see the picture. It said $300 somewhere. I feel like I found it. Um, cool. Well, hey. Oh, there we go. Off. Sweet. I love it. I'm all for fitness. Just want to take a minute before we pop off. We still got like 10 more minutes, but I just want to say thank you to my sponsor, Third Z. Guys, if you are looking for the best sleep supplement on the market, Third Z is the way to go. All right. Melatonin free, no hormonal disruption. Okay. GABA, collagen, L-theanine. It is what we need to help improve our sleep, optimize the sleep you do get, help you fall asleep faster. Scan that QR code for 15% off. And I promise you, you won't look back. It'll be something that will be into your daily regimen. And once you start taking it, you won't regret it. It's the best money that I've spent on any type of supplements, even more than protein, to be honest. I really enjoy it. And it's something that I feel like I don't like to take or go to sleep without anymore. Even when I'm traveling, they have travel sticks, right? So you don't have to just walk around with a bag of powder and get yelled at by TSA. So head over to Third Z, give it a try. Use code WODprep15 for 15% off. Um, that was impressive. That was like a huge dip in people during a read. Come on, guys. Gotta keep the lights on. Like Trish said, she's surprised that I do this every day. Gotta find a way to make it valuable, right? Um, yeah, the dime bags. It's red, right? So it's like not that bad, you know. Um, but still, it can get a little sus for sure. A little sus. All right. Got 10 minutes. What else are we going to talk about? Anything worth it? Anything worth chatting about? Mm, oh, yeah. That's it. Something coming up. I saw 5. The lineup was good. I'm all for it. I think Reps Ahead is um, a really cool, like design and concept. Let's see, Reps Ahead. It's like 5, right? Yeah, at the turkey challenge. A bunch of our people from bunch of our people from Coda are doing turkey challenge. Um, let's pull it up here. Reps Ahead. Hmm. I think they need to find a way to make it just a little bit longer. I don't know. I don't know what though. Who's that? Mm, all right, here we go. Mm, so is it Ariel versus Trista and Lauren versus Zoe? Pumped to see Ariel and Trista there. I can't imagine it's super profitable yet. Um, but I do really like the concept. I think it's a really good idea. Hmm, that's weird. There we go. Um, yeah, I think it'll be good. I think Ariel's gonna wax Trista, but uh yeah, I do like how they change the workout each time. Um, and I think it would be good. I think it would be a little bit better if they did like an actual like a bracket, right? If you got enough people there, like you did a bracket um into it. Maybe that's how it is now. Um, let's go to repsahead.com. Oh, it is. This is how um I think we all would. Um so so it'll be 4 men, 4 women. So I think this is what it is, right? For our 5th showcase, we're going back to where we started. 8 athletes in a tournament style alongside. This is how it should be, right? Instead of just a one event. Um uh um there'll be 4 men, 4 women in each field in the tournament. A semifinal to 2 men and 2 women matches each day. The winner of the semifinal match earns 2,000, proceed to the final. Um Um, I think it needs to be more than that. I think it should be 8, like at least 3, right? So that only means how can there be 4 semifinal? Oh, it'd be 4 and then 4 final matches on Sunday. That doesn't make sense. It's not really a tournament. There should be 8 women and 8 men, right? Like it should be like an elite 8, right? Going side by side. Um, I think that would be cool, right? Starting from there and then going to like a winner. Um, how can there be oh, I guess there'll be like, oh, 3rd place. Mm. Oh, a 3rd place match. Got it. Okay, okay, okay. Um, I don't know. I think if it started with 8, right? And so then there was like actually 4 matches of men and 4 matches of women, um, would be kind of cool instead of just 2 and 2. But I do like a tournament style way better. than that. I love this, like this setup right here. This setup is sick. I think that's really cool. I think they're doing a good job with it. You know, you got to get more. Um, you got to get more people. Um, yeah, it could probably be. I mean, it's not a lot of fitness, right? Like if they took the tier like close concept, right? Like basically like all 4 matches went in like back to back to back, and then like they had like a 30-minute breast, and then they went again, and then they went again, and then they went again. I think that would be really cool. Um, so it's like, you know, a 4 or 5 hour event where it's like fitness, 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 fitness. Um, I do like how they changed the workouts. Um, this one is gonna be spicy, uh, for sure. Um, 231. So 230 on for 4 rounds if needed. And then they changed the workout. I feel like this one, I don't like step down, right? I think step down's kind of lame. Um, if we're trying to go fast, then let them go fast, you know? Um, but this will be super painful. Yeah, I mean, I'll watch it. I love talking about it. Um, I think it's a really good, I think it's a really great concept. Sprague is coming back, or Scraig is going to be there, which is really good. Um, Tudor, Cole Greasehaber, I'm all for it. I think it's a really good lineup. I think the workouts look good. I love the concept. I agree. I don't know. I mean, maybe over 2 days, right? I think it's totally okay. Um, what I think would be even better. So taking this same format, right? So match one, match two, and then you set up the final, and the final is like a best out of three, right? So if the final was, um, so there's 3 workouts that they did, that were all just like a little bit different. Um, you do one, you rest like 15 minutes or 20 minutes, then you do another, and then you do another, then it's a best out of three. um, so they have to control the pace of certain movements. So there's one where someone can get ahead, right? Which is why I think having a box jump over step down is not that's not ideal, right? Like if the goal is to get ahead, then it needs to be there, right? So for like bar muscle like this one, right? You're really only going to get ahead, right? He didn't make you step down here, right? And they won't step down. They're going to be sprinting it, right? Well, I guess they will. It's a 30 inch, so really your only place to really move is if you touch and go these. So I don't know. If the goal is to get ahead, then I don't think you should be limiting any of the patterns. Um, so um, yeah. What's up, Natalie? We were just about to pop off. But good morning. Good morning. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being late. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good. I have a lot of friends competing in this event up in Denver. So hopefully it'll be good. I'm excited to see the crowd, if this crowd fills out nicely or not. And the numbers are good. The money numbers look pretty solid. $5,000 for the winner. Um is is no joke. I mean, that's a good little chunk of change, right? For what could potentially be, I don't know, 10 minutes of working out. Right. It looks like everyone gets money. Um, I'm interested to see like how they're making money, right? I know they're there. I assume there's tickets. This is it. How much does it cost to go watch for both days? VIP. Ooh, what's VIP get? Let's see. Access, showcase, seating, centered. Receive a unique shirt. Hunt down for a shirt. Custom reps wristband. Better seating for pre-show. Proceeds go towards nonprofit. All right, all right. We all like a good profit. All right, wristband. Showcase booth. I'm assuming that means you get to hang out with the athletes. Trish, it's is this like a serious question? How are winnings taxed? Let me know if that's like a genuine question. I can answer that. Sunday pass. They probably should have just put the date. This almost looks like they probably should have just put like 23 and 24 there. But $50, I mean, they're already going to the event. I don't know. $100, $50, watch them 2 days. You know, I mean, it goes to a nonprofit, and I'm assuming it goes to their ability to fund the event and pay the athletes. But 600 people, $50. What is that? 20 at max, $30,000. That'd be sick. It won't. I mean, they won't get that many, but okay. So winnings are taxed just like income, right? So they get $5,000. That goes to your yearly income, and you'll get taxed based on your tax bracket. So that's it. It's taxed the same exact way. Um, um, well, so the profits will, right? So that doesn't mean that's I would assume that means that whatever goes to after paying the athletes. I can't imagine that he found $10,000 in sponsors alone, right? So I'm guessing that the ticket sales will go, right? Oh, right. Yeah, the profits. So the athletes will get paid, and then whatever's left over, whatever profits he has, this maybe he pays himself or whatever it is, blah blah. It doesn't matter. Not the sales and profits. Yes, exactly. Gus, we're on the same page. Um, um, I feel like this website could be a different color, right? Doesn't it look kind of like old? Like it looks like we're looking at it through like an old picture, you know? I don't know, but this venue does look kind of cool. Um, I think it'll be a good event. I hope they sell out. I hope everyone pays the money, even if it's just one day they go watch the final or whatever it is, right? Everything helps. So yeah, it'll be good. But he could make it just a different color. I don't know. This purple looks doesn't look that great. It looks better here, right? Like it looks more sharp. Like this purple just looks like, I don't know, dull. Anyways, stop sharing. All right. Well, we've talked enough today. Thank you guys for hanging around. That was a nice show. That was good. Had a call in, talk some injury. We talked some fitness, right? We talked a little bit of life, talked a little bit of football. You know what I mean? Those were good. Yeah, it was a good show. We'll be back Friday, whatever that date is, the 20. We're gonna say 5th. Is that right? Yes, perfect. 25th, 6:30 Central. Make sure to show up on time, Natalie. But hey, thanks guys. Thanks so much for hanging around. I hope it wasn't too boring. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, please, 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 if you're looking to up your game, up your sleep game, scan that QR code, learn about Third Z, ask some questions. I can answer them, and give yourself a chance to improve that sleep without the use of melatonin, avoiding any type of hormone disruptors. I think you guys underestimate how fucking critical it is to not fuck with what our body can do naturally. So, yeah, thanks for being here. Enjoy the week, guys, and we'll be on a little bit later in the week. Have a good one. And